Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is me, the Tsogofatso, and the other day I got to attend the Google AI in Action event, and it was just so mind-blowing just to see all the different ways that AI is being used. And I just really got to thinking about like how AI is really changing the world. And I won't make a video about all of that because like I wouldn't even know where to start. So today I thought, let me actually just talk about how AI is actually changing software engineering. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video and find it helpful. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. And I would really love to know your thoughts on all of this, so please drop them in the comment section and please do subscribe. And yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so let's actually talk about how AI is changing software engineering. So I think I've only done like 2 videos about AI on this channel. That's when ChatGPT came out like 2 years ago, and when I think I did one like just over a year ago where I was like asking like, is it still worth it to learn how to code? And actually let's talk about it. Is it still worth it? And yeah, I think people have many different thoughts on that. I still think it's worth it. There's been a lot of new products launched like in AI. I couldn't even name like a quarter of them. So I'll just focus on the ones that I have experience. So I've used stuff like ChatGPT, use it every day. I used GitHub Copilot, Cursor, Gemini. And what I've seen for me is that it really helps me, I guess, to solve problems faster. I see myself like when I run into an error, I would just like more likely go to ChatGPT and, see what that error is. And, instead of like going to just searching online and trying to like dig down the answer, and I'm like, sorry, Stack Overflow, but yeah, I'll just be using ChatGPT so much for that. And it's really been faster for me to kind of like solve problems. Like once I'm stuck on something, I just quickly ask ChatGPT, see how it works, or see how to fix it, and then, get it sorted without having to like hunt down an answer. There's sometimes that it doesn't work, but I've seen myself like going less on like just searching and reading like all these random blogs and forums trying to like find an answer. So that's one way I found it really helpful. I also played around with Cursor as well, which I think is pretty cool. It's just that I don't really have a lot of time to do like like I took a little break from YouTube, but I'm still me and I'm still back, and I still want to work on my own projects, but I don't really have much time for it. But I've been playing around with Cursor, and not gonna lie, I think it's the best. Like just having a tool that just like has context of all your files. You have the chat box there. It can make changes in your files, and you can look at that. So I think that's why I think it's still important to have those coding skills, because like now these AI tools are going into your code. They're changing your code, like your code actually. So it's actually good to know like what is happening here. Like actually, is this like a good solution? Is it not? What is actually being changed? And also stuff like GitHub. I think it's also important to learn GitHub, because I've seen like a lot of people now going into vibe coding. We'll get to that. And I think they might miss like opportunities to learn stuff like GitHub. And then now when you're coding with like Cursor and it makes changes and you don't really know how to, I think the tools, I haven't really played around that much, but I think now you can kind of revert to the last changes and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But if you're using maybe like ChatGPT, you're making changes to files, and now you can't keep track of like the last working point, it might get a little bit complex. So I think it's still good to have that to have that understanding of code. I think now we'll also see kind of the importance of like actually understanding the software engineering principle, understanding the architecture to make use of all the AI tools to build what you actually want to build. But yeah, and I've also been seeing, when I was at the Google AI in Action event, I just saw how much AI is actually being used, like to develop products. Like AI is being used to predict floods for medical research. What I saw, like Google Translate can now translate, like when you guys are talking different languages, it can like translate the conversation. So like, I think first I was thinking about AI in just like how is it affecting me as a developer, but now it's like how is it affecting me in my whole life, because it feels like AI is integrated in everything now. So there's like no really like running away from AI, because it's like everywhere now. So I think it's a good opportunity to explore, like, how can you use AI in your products? Like, how can you integrate, for example, like me and my project that I'm working on, my habit tracker. Honestly, guys, I haven't worked on it in a long time. But for example, on my habit tracker, to say like, how can I integrate AI into that? Like, okay, maybe I can use AI to give people suggestions for habits that they track, and maybe give them suggestions on like maybe which habits to focus on in the morning and which ones to focus on in the evening. Because like, guys, we have it and it's there. And I think for me, I was a little bit scared of AI at the beginning, not gonna lie. I think I kind of am, because it's so new and we don't know which way it's gonna go. But I was listening to this podcast and they were talking about how, for example, when the calculator came, it was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna stop thinking, we're not gonna be doing math anymore. But it allowed us to now solve more complex problems. So I think that's how I'm trying to look at it now, to like, okay, like, I can take a basic project like a habit tracker and I can turn it into like something that's way cooler. Like, even like in Google now, you can have like those reply suggestions. You know, when you are replying to an email, it gives you suggestions on what to say. You can just quickly click one and send it. So it's making things so much faster. So I think that is really cool. And I guess in the way that I did mention that for developers, there's now all these tools. I think now it's kind of also a shift. I was listening to this podcast. I don't remember the title at all. I'll leave it in the description. But I think something that I really took away from that is that I think there's, so people that use AI, or developers that use AI, they say like junior developers kind of are free and like to use AI because that's what they know. Like they're starting their career in this AI era, so they're using AI. And then they're saying senior developers use AI because they trust their skills, like they know what they're doing. And then we have like the mid developer who's like scared to lose their skills, so they don't want to heavily rely on AI. But what the podcast was saying, they said a whole bunch of things. And something that I really took away is that we kind of now have to change the way we think about development as a whole, to say, yes, we've known it to be this one thing, to say like, okay, we need to develop code in a certain way because we need to maintain it, we need to do all of these things. But it's like, now if we're using AI, we now have to think about it in a way like, okay, AI has to maintain it, and how can we build it so that it can be maintained by AI? And that kind of might look a bit different, you know, so we need to learn how to do that. And I think another important thing is prompt engineering. So knowing what prompts to give to the AI so it can give you the results that you want. Because guys, I cannot tell you how many times I fought with ChatGPT. Like, ChatGPT, I love you, girl, but sometimes we'll be fighting. And I think that's why it's like, you need to know what to put in so that you get, like, you know, garbage in, garbage out. If you're not really clear about your instructions, then it won't give you what you want. Which I think I'll just move on to like now, like the vibe coding, because I've been seeing a lot of people like building their own projects and just using AI for everything, which I think is pretty cool when people do stuff like, I know everyone has mixed feelings, but you know, like, shout out to people. I want to try that and see how it goes. I won't even tell you guys that I'm going to do it because like, I'm so busy. So I don't know if I'll get to it, but I really love to try it. And I think, what I've been seeing, because I love watching those videos on YouTube when people use AI to build something, is that you really need to kind of know how to like write down product specifications and know what you're building beforehand and specify so that you can give the whatever AI tool you're using the correct prompt so it can give you what you want. So learning how to actually like write down like actually explain what you want so that you can actually get it. And I think Google has a prompt engineering course, which I think is pretty cool. There's actually a video that I watched that kind of like summarized it. I'll also link that in the description. So like just prompt engineering. So I think that's one skill that will be really valuable for engineers. And I don't think AI is going anywhere. So I think it's like, I hope I'll remember this quote that says like, it said AI is not, replacing software engineers. It's replacing software engineers that don't want to use AI. And I said, because not gonna lie, I was kind of scared. So now I'm trying to embrace it, see how I can use it to the best of my ability. I'm still kind of scared of losing my problem solving skills. I'm not gonna lie, like, because I'm like, if I'm not practicing, like, how will I keep it going? Like, how will I keep those skills there? So I'm trying to like see how I can stay like sharp and being able to like think for myself and solve problems while still embracing AI. So it's a little bit confusing at the moment, but hopefully I'll figure it out. But I think AI is really exciting. I think it's exciting for us to be living in this era. I think for me, it's a little bit different than how I expected it. Like if maybe like 5 years ago and you told me like, oh, AI is coming. Like, I don't know, I probably would have thought like this like magical thing. And like, oh, no, I was like, oh, this is just something I use in my daily life. I chat to it, So I think it looks a little bit different. Just the scariest thing for me is kind of like losing those problem solving skills, and I guess not knowing, like, I don't know what's next and how, like, I'm trying to keep up to know like how do these things actually work and all of that, but it's like I'm not really keeping up at the moment, and I think that's scary as well. But I think it's an exciting era. Let's embrace it or not. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, comment guys, I'd love to hear what you think, and please do subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.